So, would you say it's okay when the guy gets married to the lady and somewhere along the line in the marriage he decides to maltreat her and treat her anyhow? I mean, because she practically came to him. It's not like he was interested and, came after her. So would you say it's okay for the guy? Who would you say is to blame in that kind of relationship where it results into marriage and then somewhere along the line the man is disinterested?
Okay, let me ask this question. She came to you and you took the bait. They're both to blame. The guy had a choice also.
No, but here, the guy is fed up and he wants to move on with his life.
Marriage is not something that is treated flippantly. You just don't wake up one morning and say, because you're fed up, you start to maltreat her.
Yes, but you find a lot of marriages now, especially in this time, a lot of marriages are falling apart.
A lot of marriages are falling apart. I believe it's based on lack of understanding.
Between both
parties.
Okay.
Motives may have been wrong. Doesn't necessarily mean that it cannot be fixed. But the point here is the guy is fed up because of what? Because he initially enjoyed the bait. He had a choice. He could have said, sister, I'm not interested in this.
True.
Or I could just be friends with you, but I do not want to marry. He didn't have to lead all the way down to marriage.
Okay, so the man obviously didn't do right. By taking the bait, he knew that this wasn't what he wanted.
Exactly.
But because it was free, she came. Perhaps she was doing a lot of cooking. She was sleeping in his house. She was sleeping with him. She was tidying.
Taking care of his mom, washing his stuff.
Exactly.
All of those things that we
getting involved into family matters and all that. Okay, so the man isn't to be given a pass mark. Marriage scattered. Fine. But then we have relationships where there's abuse. And when I say abuse, we have verbal abuse and physical abuse.
Yeah.
Now, I realize that some women and men are victims of abuse, but I realize that there is one abuse nobody talks about. Everybody talks about physical abuse, you're being beaten, but there is emotional and psychological abuse where either the male or the female, gets traumatized.
Yeah, PTSD.
And we don't take this into consideration. What would you say is the cause for abuse in relationships?
Abuse is it's a wide topic, and it's also a very deep topic. But my perspective, whoever is the abuser wasn't raised right. Let's deal with that first.
Yeah, I also want you, as you're going on, to try and profile solutions. What would we say would be the solution to this kind of abuse?
For a man who is physically, because most men are physically abusive. Yeah, we do have women who are physically abusive.
Yeah, but not as much as men.
Not as much as men, though. But we don't tend to accept societally that men can be physically abused. Otherwise, let's go down to the physical abuse. Yeah. Now, a man who is physically abusive learnt it from somewhere.
True.
If we trace it back to the root cause, which is always my mantra, can we deal with the root cause? Where did this thing start from? If we look at his family, maybe his mom was, or his dad was, or both parents were. Or he could have learned it from an uncle. But it's usually from his...
Yeah, it originated.
Yes.
But sometimes I even think it comes from friends. Because sometimes men sit down and, a man would say, my wife would never give me that trash. I would deal with her properly.
A man who gets to the point where he picks it up from friends, that's like it becomes a secondary issue. There must be a residual tick or a time bomb.
Yeah, so it must have been in...
Yeah, so perhaps he had anger issues, which he probably never wanted to accept that he had. Because there are a lot of angry people these days. A lot of angry people. But they don't want to accept that they're angry. They're angry at themselves, angry at the world, angry at everything.
But they're basically angry at something.
Just angry at something.
Now, I realize that the church has a very funny stance. The church's stance towards abuse is, oh, you've gotten married, God hates divorce, so stay there. What they're not telling you is stay there, get beaten, your head will get battered, let him physically, emotionally, financially, and psychologically abuse you. It's okay, God will compensate you. If he pushes you down a building, oh, it's okay, the angels of the Lord will pick you up. You will continue your life from there. Be like Hosea. It's almost as though the church condones. The church is saying it's okay for you to be battered. It's part of what comes with marriage. And I do not subscribe to a relationship where either from the man or from the woman, there's abuse. So would we say that as a Christian, is it okay to stay in a physically abusive, mentally, financially, psychologically abusive relationship, all in the name of God hates divorce?
Excuse me, I'm going to do something very funny now. Brother and sister, if you hear me or you can read my lips, if you're in an abusive relationship, evacuate. Again, clear word, evacuate. Leave. You don't have to divorce the person, but at least leave for the sake of sanity. Figure out your life first.
Yeah, but some women are not strong enough. I've read and I've seen some on social media. I mean, there was one where the lady really couldn't. She told family, but because she came from a religious family, family, hey, don't worry, along the way things will get better. God makes a way when there seems to be no way. The wife is busy going for night vigils. From the night vigil, as she's coming back, she's getting battered. Or if she's not physically battered, she's mentally battered. And of course, like I said, it's not just to women alone. Sometimes it's the flip side. The woman makes the man feel he amounts to nothing. Your mates are driving Bentleys. Your mates are abroad. Your mates have growing, thriving businesses. Look at you and you call yourself a man. Now I understand that those kind of words are powerful. Usually the abuser never tells the public or the family what he said or what she said. All we see is the effect of what was said and what was done. We live in a society where it's quite difficult to jump into someone's marriage and carry a gun and go, back out of the house. Would you advise that? I mean, or better still, let me rephrase. Most Christians go for Christian counseling. And I found out that sometimes Christian counselors don't know what they're saying. They are feeding you information that a lot of them have not practiced. They've never been in the shoe of someone being abused. So would you say it's better they get technical help?
What do you mean by technical help?
When I say technical help, yes, there are pastors and there are counselors within the Christian sphere.
We're talking about certified counselors.
Yes, certified counselors.
Technical
yes,
help.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I meant by technical.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted you to be clear about what you were saying.
Yeah.
The issue with church, churches.
I know it's a huge topic.
Churches.
But I want us to streamline it. So, would you say a couple who is having problems?
Yeah.
First and foremost, I usually would say they should check in the relationship. There was something you were saying at the beginning of the show, that an abuser isn't an abuser when he got into the marriage. He was an abuser, but that one party didn't pay attention.
Sometimes we actually notice, but we're enthralled by the person. Yes. There are times when he has... Look, one thing I've realized with relationships, excuse me, motive. Motive plays a very strong role to what we can condone. You are rich, you have money, I want your money.
Hallelujah.
So what do? And then you're not the nicest of people or person. Yeah. And then you're full of all sorts. You're a compendium of different spices, so to say. But the point is, my motive is money. So my driving force behind it is money. So I'm going to tolerate a lot of things.
Because you want my money.
Yeah. Sometimes you find a guy who's dating a girl because her family is influential, and then he stomachs everything, gets married to her, but there's a part of him that cannot tolerate being put under all the time, and then he starts to act out. But the truth be told is, what drove him to that marriage initially was, or is, influence. A girl sees a guy as a knight in shining armor. Maybe she was going through something, or she was going through a difficult time, and he was there to help her out. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to marry the guy.
True.
He could have just been God sent at that time to help you transition.
Okay, I get you. So, hold on.